friends! Today or this whole week at Get Your Play Online is Celebrate Summer Week. And so I thought today on Create with Lindy, we would make back to school time capsules, because to me, when I think about the end of summer, most kids usually end up going back to school. So I thought that would be really fun. So a time capsule is something that you usually put into, besides that, you usually put a time capsule is something that you put stuff in that shows how things are today. So you might put in all your likes that you like today, all the things that you like to, the music that you like to listen to, the stickers that you like, things like that. And then later on, it could be a year or as far down the line as you want. You can open it and remember all the cool things that you like to do back when you first made your time capsule. So today we're going to make a time capsule for back to school, and it can be you can make it for about the first day of school, or you can make it, if you've already started school, it can be just the beginning of school. So what we're going to need for our time capsule is an empty jar, and we're going to need some different colors of paper. I've got a few sheets here. We're going to want one white sheet and then a few different colored sheets. We're going to need our scissors. We're going to need tape, crayons, and you might want a pen too, but you don't necessarily need one. And then we can use stickers to decorate our jar, but if you don't have stickers, that's optional. You don't really have to make your jar have stickers, but if you've got some you really want to use, that would be a great time to use them. And then some different color, either string, or this is kind of what people decorate presents with, this kind of ribbon. So if you have some of that, that's great. But again, this is one that if you don't have, you can still do the activity. You can still, there's lots of parts that you can still do. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do when we make our back to school time capsule is that we're going to make the label that goes on the front. So we're going to need some paper, and I'm going to use white for my label. If you would like to use a different color, you can definitely use a different color for your label. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to see how big we are going to write our label. So we want to hold up our paper to the jar to kind of see about how big, because if I wrote all the way this big, then it wouldn't fit on my jar very well. So I just want to kind of stay in there. So I'm going to make a little mark there to remind myself. And this is what this is kind of what we're going to write on our time capsule paper, on our label. I will put this in the comment section afterwards. So if you're not writing yet, or you want it to be a printed out label, that will be there that you could print out and put on if you wanted to do that instead. But let's go ahead and learn all about, let's write our label. So I'm going to show you how I made that mark. So hold up your paper, and I'm going to make a mark at the point that I want to make sure that my words stay in that spot so that it doesn't, I can still read it all when I'm looking at my label. And I'm going to push you down so you can see my paper. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to write is my name. So you are going to write your name instead. So I'm going to pick out a color, or you could use a pen if you wanted to. So I'm going to pick, let's see, I'm going to do blue. So I've got my blue. And the first thing that I'm going to do is write my name. So you're going to write your name while I'm writing my name. So I'm going to do mine. And then at the end, you can put this little curvy line at the top, like that. And then an S. And that shows that it's yours. So now it says, instead of Lindy, it says Lindy's, which means that it's my time capsule. So now your name should say, whatever your name, that it's your time capsule. And then the next thing that we're going to write is back to school. So we're going to start with a B, and I'll hold up my sheet later so that you can copy if you want to copy the letters a little bit better. So I'm going to write B, and you can make these capitals or lowercase, however you want yours to look, and you can change colors if you want. I'm going to stick with the same color for my label. So I'm going to write a B, and then an A, a C, K, and then I'm going to write 2. So I'm going to make a T, a line straight down, and a line across, and then O. So I'm going to make a small circle, and then I'm going to write school. So S, C, H, O, so 2 little circles. And you can always get your mom or dad or guardian to help you with this if you're not quite able to write all the letters yet. And then 1 big line down for the L. So now it says your names, back to school, and now we want to write time capsule. And I'm going to put mine in all capital letters for time capsule. So I'm going to write capital T, just like that. I, M, E, and then on the next line I'm going to do capsule. So you spell that with a C, A, P, S, U, L, and then one more letter, we're going to write E. So let me show you now. All right, so now we've written our label. So it says, that's my name, it says Lindy's Back to School Time Capsule. So I'll hold that up there for a minute if you need any help copying the letters. So remember, that's going to be your name, so you can copy those letters. You can always pause the video to help so that you have more time. Okay, very cool. So if you need some more time to write that, you can always pause the videos, or remember, it'll be in the comments afterwards if you want to print out the sheet, the label that looks like that. So the next thing that we can do is we can decorate our label. So we can make it colorful, or we can draw different, we can do different shapes or doodles on it. So I'm going to do some squiggly lines on mine. I'm going to get a new color. I think I'm going to do yellow and green. So I'm going to do it, and you can do this however you want. I'm going to do squiggly lines, kind of like this. So up and down, and up and down, and up and down, and up and down. I'm going to do it at the bottom. Up and down, and up and down, and up and down. And then at the side, I think I'm going to do some dots. Make a dot, and a dot, and a dot. So you could do stars or any kind of doodle that you know how to do. You might want to color in your label. That is totally up to you. You get to be creative for this one. Use your imagination. I'm still making my dots on the other side. There we go. And I have finished with my label. So my next step is that I'm going to use my scissors to cut out my label. So I'm going to open my scissors and put in the paper, and I'm going to cut in as straight as line as I can. And then turn the paper for the other side. Snip, 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 all the way until it's totally free of its paper. And there, I've got my label. That's so exciting, we have our label for our time capsule. So I'm going to take my empty jar and we're going to attach it to our jar, just like I have on my example that I made earlier. So what we need for that is some tape. So we're going to use the clear kind of tape, and I'll show you how to make, we're going to need to make little circles with our tape to help our paper stick to our jar. So let me show you how to do that. We're going to take a little piece of the tape and we're going to pull it out, and then you can either cut the tape or you can press it against this metal part right here. Press down and it should rip right off. There, I've got a piece. But since it's sticky on one side and it's not sticky on the other side, then I'm not going to be able to just put the tape on my paper and have it stick to my jar. So what I'm going to do is make a circle. So I'm going to have the sticky side touching my finger. So this side is not sticky, but this side is. And I'm going to use this finger to pull it around and touch the sticky side to the not sticky side, like that. So now you can see it kind of looks like a circle, and all around the outside is the sticky side. So I'm going to put that on the back. So we'll make sure it's the back of our label. So I'm just going to stick it on the edge right there. So we're going to make a few more of our circles, our circle tape. So we're going to pull, rip, sticky side on your fingers, around, circle, ta-da, another piece, and two more, rip, sticky side, pull it around, circle. And I'm going to put that on the bottom part, the bottom edge of my label. And I want one more for the side. So rip it off, and around. And I'm going to put it on the edge right there. So now we've got tape all around our label, so it should stick really well to our jar. So let's try. You're going to decide which side you want to put it on. Mine's clear everywhere except for it's got these little lines right here. So if you want those to show, you could put it on a different side. But if you wanted those to be covered up, you could put your label there. It's totally up to you. This one that I did an example on had kind of these words on one side, so you might want to cover up the words or you might want them to show. That is your choice. So I am gonna, oops, it's already sticking, but I hadn't decided where to stick it yet. Okay, so I'm gonna stick it on a clear side. So I'm gonna find about where I want my label to be. And if it's too high or too low, you can always just peel it on and put it a little bit different spot. So I am going to push that in so that I know that it's sticking really nicely. There we go. I've got my label on my time capsule. So the next part is when we put the stuff inside the time capsule. That's all about our first day of our new school year, or at the beginning of your school year if you've already started. So we are going to go ahead and put this aside and get out our paper. So I've got my different colors of paper. And let me open the time capsule so I can show you what I made inside. And some jars are like the one I'm making now, where it will come off in one piece. And some, like my example, it has this flat piece on after you take off the edge. So you kind of have to pull the side up. So inside, I've got a couple of things. I wrote out some answers to some questions that we're going to be doing. I have a lunchbox that shows what my favorite lunch would be for school, and my handprint, so I can see how much I've grown when I open it. So I'm going to let's start with our handprint. So I'm going to pick a piece of paper, and I think I'm going to pick my orange sheet. So what we're going to do with our time capsule is, I think I mentioned this at the beginning, but just in case, at the very end of the school year, you get to open your time capsule and then see how much you've changed since the beginning of the year. So if you do your handprint now, then you can put your handprint over it, and at the end of the year, it might have grown so much. You could also do your footprint. I'm going to choose to do my handprint so that you can see it, since that's what the camera will show. So I'm going to choose purple, I think. Let's see if I can find my purple crayon. There it is. Got my purple crayon. And I am going to put my hand flat on the paper, and then I'm going to use my crayon to trace around my fingers. So I'm going to push this down so you can see it. So we're going to put my hand flat on the paper, and I'm going to take my crayon, start at the bottom of my hand, and I'm just going to trace around one finger, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 4, down and around my thumb. Perfect. So now I've got what my handprint looks like on the first day, or the very beginning of this school year. So now if I wanted, I could write, I can decorate my handprint if I want, or I can, if I want to write at the top, my name and what grade I was starting. So I'm gonna decorate mine, and you can choose any color you want to decorate your handprint, or if you did your footprint, that is cool too. So we're gonna pick, I think I'm gonna do green to color in my hand, and to do some different kind of doodles in there. And then I'm gonna write at the top, I'm gonna write my name and first day of whatever grade you're going into. So I'll put you down. So I'm going to write my name, so you can write yours. And then I'm going to write first, I'm going to write a 1 and a little ST, that means first. Day, D-A-Y, of, and I'm going to say that I'm in 5th grade, so I'm going to write a five, and then a little TH on the side. So if you're in kindergarten, you can write a K, or you could write out kindergarten. If you're going into 1st grade, you can put a 1 and a little ST. Second would be 2 and a little ND. Third would be 3 and a little RD. And fourth would be 4 and the same TH that I just made. And then I'm going to write grade. So G, R, A, D, E. And remember, you can always get your mom or dad to help you if you aren't are still not, if you're still copying some of your letters and aren't writing on your own just yet. So I'm going to use my green to make actually I'm going to use my purple to make some zigzaggy lines on my handprint. So you can decorate your hand however you want. Maybe you could do things that you like to play with, or you could do, if you like a sport, you could put maybe something about that sport in your handprint. Or if you like music, you could do music notes, or you could just kind of do doodles like I'm doing. And then I'm going to color my handprint in. So I'm just going to, or you could leave your handprint totally plain if you wanted to. But I thought it might be fun when I open mine in a year from now, if I decorated my handprint with fun designs and colors. All right, so let me show you my final handprint page. So there it is. So it has my name and the grade that I'm starting and my handprint. And you remember, you can do your foot or your hand and decorate it however you want. So we're going to put this to the side, and then later we're going to put it in our time capsule so that at the end of the year we can open it and see how much bigger our hand might have gotten since then. So I'm going to put that to the side, and we're going to use another piece of paper. So now we're going to make our lunch. So we're going to do a page of what our favorite lunch for school would be. So you're going to pick whatever color paper you want, and we're going to draw a lunch box first. So the outside line, that's my lunch box. So let's go ahead and make a lunch box, and then afterwards we're going to draw what your favorite lunch would be. So I'm going to push you down so you can see my drawing a little bit better. So I am going to start with a purple lunchbox. So I've got my purple crayon, and let's see. Okay, so I'm going to draw a rectangle, kind of a square that's just a little bit longer on the sides. So I'm going to draw a line, but I'm leaving a little bit of space on the edges. And then I'm going to do a line down. You can make yours curve, like a curved edge or a straight edge, whatever you want your lunchbox to look like. So I'm going to do a curved edge, down, down, down. But I'm not going to go to the end of the page. I'm going to leave a little bit. And then at that line, I'm going to curve it and go to the other side. And then curve it. Same thing. Leave a little space, curve it. And now we have our full lunchbox. And I want my lunchbox to have a handle so that I can hold it. So at the top, I'm going to do a line, and it might not all be on the page. It's going to look like it's going further than the page. So it's going to be a curved line, and I'm going to stop at the end of the page, but we're going to pretend that we kept going and see about where it would go on the other side. Right about there. Curved line. And one more. And now we're going to color in our lunchbox handle, unless you didn't want your lunchbox to have a handle. Awesome. And I'm going to write my name and the word lunchbox. So I'm going to do mine while you do yours. And now you write. So you wrote your name, and now we're going to write lunchbox. You could write the grade if you wanted to. So lunchbox is LUNCH. This is going to be all one word, so we're not going to make a space. and we're going to write the word box. So B-O, circle, and X. So a line that way and a line this way. So now I've got the outline of my lunchbox, and I've got my name and the word lunchbox. So now I'm going to think of my favorite lunchbox my favorite foods that might be in my lunchbox this year. So maybe I told my mom or dad, I really want this in my lunchbox for the first day of school. Or this is what I really like to eat for lunch right now. So what's your favorite thing to eat for lunch? And we're going to draw that on the paper. So I'm going to get out a few different color crayons. I'm going to do a sandwich, a juice box, and watermelon for mine. So I am curious what your favorite lunch would be. So I'm going to take a red crayon and a blue and a green for my watermelon, and then I'm going to need brown and red for my sandwich because I'm going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yeah. And then I'm going to want a juice box and use my green again and my purple. Let's see, is that purple? There it is, purple. Okay, so I am going to draw. First, let's start with, if you want to do a sandwich, I'll show you how, or if you want to do something else, go ahead and do anything you want on your page that shows what you like to eat for lunch. So I'm going to do a sandwich, so I'm going to make a rectangle because I like my sandwiches to be cut in half. So maybe you like your sandwiches all without it being cut. So maybe yours would be a square. So I'm going to do mine. So mine's going to be 2 rectangles to show that it was cut into 2 pieces because that's how I like it. And then I'm going to show, maybe you don't like the crust, so this would be just how you would do yours. Since I like crust on my sandwiches, I'm going to do a little edge on the side and color it in brown so it shows that that's the crust. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So now I've got my sandwich, and to show what's inside of it, I like to use strawberry jelly on my peanut butter and jelly. So I'm going to use red for the strawberry, and I'm going to do a little bit right there on the in-between so it kind of shows that the jelly is, you can see the jelly inside the sandwich. Perfect. Now I'm going to go on to my watermelon. I love watermelon so much. I'm excited that it's still in season right now since it's the beginning of the school year. So I'm going to do a straight line, and then I'm going to meet the edge and do a curved line all the way to the other side of the straight line I drew, just like that. And then I'm going to color it in. So maybe you like grapes instead, or chips. You could draw a bag of chips, or let's see what else. Maybe you have an apple. You could draw an apple. And then I'm going to use my green to show the rind on the watermelon on the outside. So I'm going to take this, make a little line at the edge, and then I'm going to make that curved line just like with the red. And then a little line to meet the green and the orange, or green and red. And then I'm going to color in that green part. So now I've got my watermelon. And last, I'm going to do a juice box. So maybe you like to have, maybe you have a water bottle that you take with you for lunch, the same one every time. Maybe you could draw that, or anything. Maybe you have milk. Maybe you could do a thing of milk. So I'm going to do a square for my lunchbox. And I'm going to do a little line this way and this way. Connect it, down, connect it. Now, kind of looks like a box. And then I'm going to write juice box on it, or juice, J-U-I-C-E. And I'm going to show grapes to show that it's grape juice. So circle, circle, circle. And then the next line, 2 circles. And then 1 circle. And I'll color those in. And then I'm going to do a little hole for the straw. And then I'll draw a little line for the straw. Ta-da! So now, when I open my time capsule at the end of the year, I'll remember what my favorite lunch was at the beginning of this grade. So we're going to go ahead and put that aside so we can put it in our time capsule later. And our last thing that we're going to do is fill out this sheet about it's all about me going into this grade. So at the end of this, I will put in the comments, in the Facebook comments, I'll put a picture of this that you can print out, that you could just write on it if you'd like, or we can on a piece of paper, we can write those words ourselves, or we can just write the answers, or draw pictures if you'd rather draw pictures. So on mine, I drew some pictures and I wrote some answers. There's a pencil, and that's a cartwheel. So we can do some of both, or we can just draw, or we can just do writing. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to put this aside to remember the names of the question, or remember the questions. So the first one, so if you don't want to print this out, we're going to we can write the grade at the top. So I'm going to be going into 5th grade. That's what I'm going to say. So I'll write a line there so you can remember that you should fill it in. And I'm going to write grade, so G-R-A-D-E. And then we are going to put what are you most excited for on your first day of school? So we can write excited for with a question mark. Or you can just draw the answer. You can go ahead and start drawing the answer. But if you want to remember what the question was, we can write E-X-C-I-T-E-D, and then for, F-O-R, question mark. And so you can always get your mom or dad's help if you want to write that, or we can just go ahead and write the answer. So mine, what I'm most excited for is school supplies. I love school supplies. They're my favorite. So the beginning of every year, I love to have my new school supplies and start using them. So that's what I'm going to put on mine. Instead of writing the words, I'm going to draw. So I'm going to draw a pencil to show that I was most excited for school supplies. So I'm going to use my pink and yellow crayon. So so you can write your answer or draw. So I'm going to draw a yellow pencil and a pink eraser. And then I'm going to do the pointy part. There, I've got my pencil, so that shows my school supplies. The next thing is, what do you think that you'll do on your first day of school? So let's write first day question mark. So we can do a 1 and then a little ST and then day, D-A-Y, question mark. So what do you think you'll do on the very first day of school? Or if you've already started, maybe what do you think you'll do? What did you think you would do on the first day of school? So I'm going to say, what did I think I would do on the first day of school? Let's see. Normally, I might get a desk, but this year, since some people are online, I might not get a desk, so because I might be learning at home. So I think maybe I would learn everyone's name. So I'm going to write that down. If whatever your answer is, you can draw it instead of writing. Let's see. So I'm going to write learn names. So you can take a minute to finish your answer or drawing whatever it was that you think that you will do on your first day or what you thought you would do on your first day. All right, next question is going to be, and you can always pause this video if you need some more time. If you need some more time to finish your drawing answer, you can always pause the video and then press play when you're ready to go on to the next question. So now we are going to do, what do you hope to learn in school this year? So I'm going to write the word learn, question mark. So L, let's see, can you see that? It's getting a little bright in here. E, A, R, N, question mark. And what do I think I'm going to learn? Or what do I hope to learn in school this year? I remember when I was in elementary school, I was really excited to learn how to do multiplication and cursive. See, so I think I'm going to draw what I think cursive looks like to show that that's what I'm excited. So you think of whatever you're excited for. Maybe you're excited to learn about, maybe you're excited to learn how to write. So you could draw different letters, or reading, you could draw a book. So whatever you're excited for, I'm going to use my crayon to do kind of what I think cursive looks like. Kind of different loopy writing letters. So that's kind of what I thought cursive looked like. So it says learn, and now I know at the end of the year when I opened it up that I was excited to learn about cursive. And next we're going to do, are you nervous about anything when you're starting this year of school? So it's totally normal if you're nervous about anytime something new starts or something changes. It's totally normal and natural to be a little bit nervous sometimes. And especially this year, we might be a little bit extra nervous because things are different, because some of us are doing online school now. So you might have a lot of different worries or things that you're nervous about. So this is a great time to think of them, and we're going to write them down on our paper. But whatever you think about, it's a great idea to let your mom and dad know what you're nervous about, and then they can help you find a way not to be nervous about them anymore. Okay, so that's a great plan. We're going to write what we're nervous about down. So we're going to write the word nervous in question mark. So it's going to be an N, E, R, V, O, U, S, question mark. And remember, if you've got the page printed out that's in the comments, you can skip writing those questions and just do the answers. So put this down so you can see a little bit better. There it is, nervous. So what am I nervous about this year? I think it's hard for me to say because I'm not doing my online school, but usually I think I was nervous about who I would sit next to for lunch. And if I was doing online school, I might be worried that what if my internet went out and then I wasn't able to do school? So those are two things you might be worried about. You can do any of your worries. I'm going to draw a table and a person to show that I'm nervous about who I'm going to sit next to. So I'm going to find my crayon and draw a table, draw a rectangle, color it in, and then I'm going to draw a face and clothes and hair. So I've got my person, and then I'm going to draw a question mark next to it to show I'm worried about who I might be able to sit with this year. All right, so my last question on the sheet, all about me, first day of whatever grade I'm saying I'm going into 5th grade. Our last question is, what would you like to share about with yourself, with your classmates and teachers? Let's think. So what are things that you want your classmates and your teachers to know about you when you're starting your new grade? Maybe you want them to know that you have a nickname that you like to go by instead of your full name. Or maybe you want them to know that you love to read and you really hope to read this year a lot. There's a certain book that you want to read in class, or that you love trains, or I loved to do gymnastics when I was in elementary school. So I used to do cartwheels all the time at recess. So I think I want to tell my classmates and teachers that I love to do cartwheels. So I'm going to draw a cartwheel at the bottom of my page. So you think of whatever it is that you want to tell them, and you're going to draw it or write it out at the bottom of your page. So I'm going to do a person, stick person, standing up, and then they're starting to flip. And now they're upside down. Let's see, push this down so you can see it better. There we go. And now they're coming back up again. And now they have a smiley face because they did their cartwheel. Yay! So they start with the head facing up, and then it's sideways, upside down, sideways, and then it's back upright because they finished their cartwheel. Awesome! So now that we finished our All About Me on the first day of whatever grade you're starting page, we're going to put that aside to put in our page 2. So there's one more thing that you can put inside your time capsule if you want, and we're going to use this stuff to, if you have it, remember this is an optional thing that you don't need to, if you don't have it, you still can do the whole activity. But if you wanted to decorate your jar with the stickers or with this, we can. But there's one more thing that we can do with this stuff that we can actually put into our time capsule. So I'm going to show you. It's hard. I'm not going to be able to stand up so that you'll see, but I'll show you how I would do it. So we are going to take this either string or this stuff that it's ribbon to make presents, and we're going to take it and put, like, undo it so there's quite a bit, and then what you do is take the end and put it under your foot. So pretend that this is the floor and I'm putting it flat, and then I would put my foot right here, and then I would pull it up, 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 up until I found the part where my head was. Oop. Okay, so there's where the head, so now I know how tall I am with this ribbon. So then I would take my scissors and cut right there, and then I would know how tall that I was. And that way, at the end of the year, you can measure and see if you've grown a lot or a little, or just how much you've grown. So you can take that, and we're going to open up our time capsule. Open it. And if you did that one, you can put it in. But like I said, if you don't have that, that's totally fine. You still have all the other pieces of your time capsule that will show you how you were on the first day of this grade. So that's in there. Our next step is that we're going to take all the papers that we just did. I've got all 3 of my papers, and I'm going to put them together. So I've got 3. They're kind of all neatly aligned, and I'm going to fold in half. So I'm going to do the way where the bottom and the top come together. And I'm going to go like this with my fingers. So now it's folded perfectly in half. And then I'm going to do it one more time, at least depending on how big your jar is. So you can see I had a pretty big jar here, and I only had to do it 2 times for my example. But this one, because it's smaller, I might have to fold it 3 times. So we'll see. So take the 2 ends and fold them. Okay, so we can see, I think that's going to be, so you can see that my jar is not as tall as my paper, so it's not going to fit. So I'm going to do it one more time. So fold it in half. And there you go. So now you can either put it in like that, or you could roll it. So it's kind of in a circly shape. And we're going to put it inside our time capsule. And put the lid on. There we go. And our last step that you don't have to do, this could be totally finished if you wanted, and you could go put it on a shelf or somewhere special in your room to keep it safe until the very last day of school to remember to open it. Or we could decorate it a little bit. So if you have some stickers, you could decorate it with stickers. So if you have that and you want to do that, you can go ahead and do that now. If you have ribbon, I'm going to show you how you might make, you can make this little decoration that I made. So if you want to do that, we're going to take our, ribbon and find the end. So here's my end piece. And I'm going to go around my jar. And I want to have some extra at the end. So I don't want to measure exactly how the jar is. I want to keep some extra. So you can see I've got how big the jar is, plus there's room for me to tie. So I'm going to find that spot. That was right there. And I'm going to use my scissors to cut. I'm going to take it, put it around the back of the jar, and I'm going to kind of cross the pieces. See how they're crossed right now? Take one under, and this might be a tough part. You can always get help with this part too. I bet your mom or dad would know how to tie this and help you make the strings curly if you're having some trouble with this part. It can sometimes be a little bit tricky. And then so now it's crossed, but it's not going to stay that way. So we want to make it not. So we're going to cross again, like that. Take this part and put it under, and then pull it tight. Whoop. Put it under and pull it tight. There, now it's going to stay. So you could leave yours like this if you like it like that. But if you want it curly, you can open your scissors. So they're like this. And you want to be really careful that we're going to put our hand kind of on the side of this part right here. And I'm going to take one of my ribbons and I'll put my thumb, so the scissors there, the ribbon's there, thumb goes down on the other side of the ribbon. So you're on the side of the scissors, you're not on the sharp part. And I'm just gonna, whoop, this ribbon might be kind of old, and maybe that's why that happened. Okay, so I'm gonna hold it at one end, and I'm gonna pull with the other, and then it should be curly. Perfect. So you can do that or scissors, and now we've got a decorated back to school time capsule just for you, just for this grade, that is perfect to put away in a special spot until the very end of the year. And then you can open it up and you can see all the things that you liked at the beginning of the school year and how much you've changed since the end of the year. And remember that page we filled out, all about me, that's a great thing. If parents, if you're watching, that is a super part that you might be able to do with your child to kind of talk about what they're nervous about for the first day of school and what they're enjoying. That's a great way to start a conversation with your child. So we're going to put this aside, and I thought we might read a little book about going back to school, since that's what our activity was about. So I'm going to read this book for you before we go. So this is called If I Built a School. and it's by Chris Van Dusen. Says, "Jack, on the playground," said Miss Jane. "This school is okay, but it's pitifully plain. The builder who built this, I think, should be banned. It's nothing at all like the school I have planned." There's Jack with his teacher. He's on the playground. "If I built a school, the first thing you'd meet are lots of cute puppies. They'd flock to your feet. But why stop at puppies? Why not a whole zoo? So I'd add a bunch of big animals too." Oh, he's got a zoo at his school. Can you find a big animal? I see a panda and an elephant, giraffe, and there's a zebra right there. Very cool. Welcome to school with all these giant zoo animals. That would be so fun. Right off the lobby, to get to your class, I'd set up a system of tubes made of glass. You'd hop in a pod, press the number, then zoom. In under 10 seconds, you're right at your room. So there's the really cool pod system that helps you get to class. It looks like a giant water slide. How cool. And it looks like he's got his dog with him too. I would love to be able to bring my dog to school. All of the classrooms are built onto towers that sprout from the schoolyard like colorful flowers. And like giant petals that welcome the day, the roofs are opened in a similar way. Panels fold back and they let in the sun, which frankly makes being there that much more fun. So there's teacher, Jack, dog, and there's all the towers that the schools in the schoolyard. Now come see your classroom. Isn't it grand? That free-floating platform is where you would stand. And using a stylus, you write in the air. No blackboard, no whiteboard, no nothing is there. Your words just appear and they magically glow. Don't ask how this works, because I don't really know. So there he is. He's saying, I don't really know how that works, but I'd really like it if it did. And there's the teacher. There's her magic writing. She doesn't have the whiteboard. And look, they even have a fish tank in the teacher's desk. But you're not the only one floating around. Check out the desks. They don't touch the ground. These are my hover desks. See how they glide? They even have bumpers in case you collide. Wow, look. So his desks are like bumper cars. So the school that he created, you get to have bumper cars instead of desks. I think the teacher looks a little bit nervous about that. In my kind of classes, we wouldn't have tests. I'd liven things up with some hologram guests. Here are some samples of what I've been thinking. You might meet a T-Rex or Abraham Lincoln. Whoa, there's Abraham Lincoln. And there's the giant T-Rex. So even though they're not really there, they're like a hologram, which means they kind of come, it's almost like a light makes the person even though they're not really there. The library's next, so let's have a go. You won't find your everyday regular book. These books come alive when removed from the racks. They pop up like pop-ups, but pop to the max. And if you're not sure what a book is about, you'll find out quickly when something pops out. So look at that. That's the book, and Jack and the Beanstalk, and the Beanstalk pops way, way out. That is one cool library. Oh, the teacher's a little bit got scared by Jack and the Beanstalk. It's off to the gym, and this place is so cool. Around it, please note my perimeter pool. The pool is a deep oval that everyone likes. You race underwater on submarine bikes. Up there is my trampoline basketball court. It's partly a bounce house and partly a sport. There's also a rock wall, and here's something new. I've added some skydiving wind tunnels too. There's the court. Skydiving, wind tunnels in school. Wow, very cool. I just heard the lunch bell, so let's go and eat. I'd like you to meet my robo-chef, Pete. He's 20 feet tall and he spins on a gear. You order your lunch in this microphone here, and Pete can make anything simple or weird, from PB and jelly to squid, lightly seared. So there's the Chef Pete and all the different food for lunch that's coming out. Looks like pizza right there. It's now time for recess. Let's head to the door. My playground is awesome, so much to explore. Fly on the zip line way up in the sky, or slide down the twisty slide 3 stories high. And after all that, if you're hot and you're beat, then you can go tubing. Now that would be sweet. Wow. So there's the zip line at the top, and there's their tubing when they get hot. This is one school, huh? That would be so neat to go to his school. I wonder what you are thinking you would like to design your school as. In art, we use sprayers to splash out the paint. In music, we're loud, but our teacher's a saint. And over in science, just one of the features is a grown lab genetically modified features. There's art, music, and science. And I think that's their creature from science. It looks like a rhino and a duck put together. We'll visit new places, travel, explore, because we'll go on field trips galore. My specialty buses will tote us around. They drive underwater, they blast off the ground. And yes, they have wheels like our regular cars, which neatly retract when we're going to Mars. There they are on Mars. What a school bus. My school will amaze you. My school will astound. By far the most fabulous school to be found, perfectly planned and impeccably clean. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 15. And learning is fun in a place that's fun too. There's Jack's school, and there's all of it. He thinks that would be a super fun place to learn. I do too. If I built a school, that's just what I'd do. And there he is back on the playground telling his teacher what he would do. So that was a really cool book, and I would love to hear what you guys think if you built a school, what you would make. So that's a really fun idea to think about. And I would love to see your finished time capsule, so make sure to tag us, Get Your Play Online on Facebook, or you can put it in the comments of this video. You can put a picture once you're done. I would love to see it, and make sure you stick around at 1 o'clock to see what Mackenzie's up to. All right, I'll see you guys next time.